Hello, 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 everyone. Hi, Lisa, Mina, Gail, Nanette, hello. Are you coming up here? Well, come here. Come here. Quit talking to me and come here. Come here. He's laying on the floor. Chance is talking. I don't know that you can see him. Complaining is what he's doing. Complaining. I told you to come up here. He's such a numbskull. He's such a numbskull. Are you coming out here? All right. Come here. Oh, come here. I know you think I'm going to shut you. Yeah, right. Which I will in a little bit. Oh, goodness. You're not going to drink my coffee. No. You're not going to drink the coffee. We're just going to chat for a minute. How about that? How about that? Oh, goodness, you silly boy. Let me see. That way we can... Nope, wrong camera. Sorry. Hang on a minute. Gosh, I missed 1 week. I missed 1 week, and I have myself all confused. Any hoot. Yeah, I get myself all confused after 1 week of being gone. So anyway, let's see. Hi, Tori. You ready for drama free? Believe me, I am too. I am too. Let me get rid of my watch so it doesn't drive everybody crazy, because it can do that. Flash on, flash off, right? Let's see. Hi, Tink. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Noeet. Hi, Robin. Linda. Hello, Marilyn. Hi, Lorraine. I think Clausman's here. I'm not sure about race yet. Hi, Angie. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, that's correct. Better to have the face end than the other end, for sure. Yeah. So, I'll tell you what. We're just going to chat for a little bit first. We will get into doing something. Have lots of things to tell you today. Lots and lots. But chances, he starts, sorry, put that right in front of his face. He truly starts talking about this to me at about 11:30. Maybe 11:45. He starts talking to me. He honestly does. It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh, yours is a talker too, Mina. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, they just... This one is quite the talker. Anyway, it's been a week. It's been a week. I missed last week. Hi, Shu. Hi, Azure. Well, Chance is on a diet. He is supposed to be slimming down. Are you happy to know? Are you happy to know you look thinner? Because after all, the camera makes you look 10 pounds heavier, right? Can you say thank you? Yes, he is on diet food now, as per doctor's orders. He didn't really have a chance. Sorry if this camera I cannot shut off autofocus. So if it goes in and out, it'll get too annoying and I'll just switch to a different camera. And the lawnmowers are going on in the background, so there is that too. Anyway, yeah. Look at him. He starts at about 11:30 because I come on at 1 o'clock my time. It's 2 p.m. Eastern, but it's 1 o'clock here. And he starts about 11:30, quarter to 12, haunting me. It's the only day of the week he does this. They can tell time and dates, I'm telling you. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Linda. Hi, Dana. And everybody who else is here. Hello, hello. Yeah, so lots going on here. It's been a week, people. It's been a week. It's been a couple weeks. It's been a couple weeks. Yeah, so anyway, lots to tell you, lots to fill you in about, and something fun and special for you too. Yes, because we hit a big milestone this week, and I'm very excited about it. Sorry, I keep getting my coffee cup in the way. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Oh, he's a creature of habit. Oh, indeed he is. Indeed he is. Charlie's in the other room. I don't know if I can get him to come out or not. He has a new place to lie, and it's a box. It's a big stuffing box, which has been in their room for a long time. This big stuffing box has been in there for a long time, but he's sleeping in it now, and because he has taken a distinct turn for. He's had a big challenge. He is ready for his close-up, man. He is really ready for it. Hi, Tracy. Lots of Tracys today. So I hope you guys are happy to be here today. It is Drama Free Friday. My name is Barb Owen. You can see me down in the corner of your screen talking to you. This is Chance. If you've never been here before, this is Chance with the dirty eyes. I don't know how they get such cruddy eyes. And I can get them all cleaned up and they still look cruddy. Don't you? Yes. So, yeah. So I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're doing well. I am ready to get creative today with you guys. I am ready to do that. How about you? We're going to just pat him for a little bit, chat for a minute, and then maybe he'll go in the other room and get in the window. So, yes, Linda. Yes, hello, Marion. Yes, we did. We passed a big milestone. We passed and I didn't even realize it. Sorry about nothing like looking at yourself and fixing your hair, right? I didn't even realize that we had passed the 25,000 subscriber mark, but we did. We blew past it, and I didn't even recognize it. So, first of all, while I pat the cat that you can almost see, thank you so much to each and every one of you who have subscribed. I really do appreciate your clicking that subscription icon, the little subscribe rectangle, and if you're not subscribed, if you would like to, that would be excellent, because we're on to the next goal. Yeah, so we're going to celebrate today. We're going to celebrate several things today, not the least of which is the 25,000, because that was just such a big milestone. So if I had a party hat, I'd put it on. If I had a party horn, I'd blow it. I don't have any of those. And because the week was a little cray-cray, I didn't go get anything. Besides that, I'm not really into shopping right now. Thank you very much for your congratulations. Thank you very much. Hi, Christine. Hi, let's see. Kui. I know that's not how you say your name, but that's the only way I can remember, kind of. Hi, Elle. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, Nell. I really do appreciate your celebrating with me. And if I don't watch it, I'll get all misty-eyed, because I don't know what's wrong with me. It's just the way I am. It's the way I'm built somehow. I wasn't always this way. I wasn't always such a sap, but I got that way one day. I think it's when I became a mother. Of course, I've been a mother for a really long time. So that means I've been a sap for a really long time, doesn't it? Okay, thanks, Cooey. Is it hormones? I don't know. Could be. Could be. Lord knows we have enough of those, don't we? It's true. We have enough of those. So this cat is he is just as happy as can be, taking up the whole desk space. Aren't you? Are you a good boy? He says, put that coffee cup down here because I'd like to have some of that coffee. Anyway, all right, so first of all, first order of business is celebration because we passed the big milestone of 25,000 subs. And again, I just cannot thank you enough for being supportive and being part of How to Get Creative and being part of Drama Free Friday. We've been doing this a while. We've been doing it a while. I started it over on Ustream, and then Kicking and Screaming, Race, who I don't know if he's here or not, but Race dragged me kicking and screaming onto YouTube. That was back when most people were not doing YouTube Live, and he literally said one day, because he's so kind sometimes, I hope he's not here to hear me say this. He probably will be here. So he always hears. He always hears the things I don't want him to hear. But one day he said, as of such and such a time, you're going to YouTube and you're going to stream on YouTube. And I was just like, oh, I can't. I don't know why I thought I couldn't. But anyway, probably just because it was different. So anyway, yeah, so we ended up over here. And I don't even know. I've lost track of how long I've been here on YouTube. But anyway, it was a good Race isn't here. See, I knew he'd show up. I knew he'd show up. His ears would not let him. He has a sixth sense, I'm telling you. So anyway, he dragged me kicking and screaming, and it's been a journey. It's been a journey. It's been a good journey. And I appreciate it. I appreciate everything I have learned. All of the I can't use the word brain damage because that gets me in trouble even if I'm talking about myself. All of the twists and turns, shall we say, that my mind has had to go on as things ebb and flow and change because nothing stays the same, right? Nothing. Yeah, anyway, nothing stays the same. Cooey got a part-time job. Good for you. That's great. And Marion's not here either. I see Race is not here and Marion's not here either. Anyway, so let's see. Next thing we're going to talk about, I'm going to talk about Charlie, the sponsor Charlie. Well, before I do that, let me say that a couple of things are going on this weekend. Today, I know that the Marriottier here on YouTube is having a YouTube hop. And so be sure that you check that out. It's the Marriottier. So be sure you check that out. I think they started really early this morning, and then they take a break for a few hours in the afternoon, then they'll start back in this evening. They've done it several months, like 3 or 4 months, and the hop, each person hops for, I think it's about a half an hour or so before they go on to the next person. And I think the subject this time is Oktoberfest or Fall Fest or something like that. I see Clausman's not here either. There's a lot of people not here. A lot of people not here today. They're typing, but they're not here. So anyway, so check that out. And the other thing was I was listening last night to Shelly at Crafting Mamas, and she was talking about the Defy auction, DAFI, on Care Hearts. I think it's on Care Hearts channel. Anyway, they do auctions once a month. Believe it's once a month. I could be wrong. I should clarify all this information before I start talking, but no, that would be too simple. Anyway, they're having that auction, and they're auctioning off some really interesting things and different than what they have in the past, from what I can tell. And a lot of the people that you probably watch here on YouTube are involved in it. And the proceeds from that go to support other artists who are not able to purchase art supplies and so forth. Okay, so the hop will start again at 3:55 Central today. Starts with Mary 3:55. I thought it was later than that, but I could be totally wrong. Anyway, people are putting information in the chat, so you can. Hey, Carissa. Hi, Janice. Once a month on the second Saturday. That's for the Defy auction. It's the Disabled Artists Foundation. Disabled Artists Foundation. I forgot what the I is. Anyway, it is a 501. It's a corporation. It's all legal. Anyway, you guys can check the chat for the information that's coming up. Hi, Barbara Clark. Hi. I see Sandy was here too. Hey, Joycey. Boy, there's nobody here. No one's here today. The chat is just chatting away, but no one is here. They're all telling me. Maybe I'm not here either. Maybe I'm a figment of the imagination. Anyway, so I wanted to tell you about that. Let's see. What else? Oh, back to the Charlie boy. Hi, Joan. Disabled Artists Foundation Incorporated. 501c3 is the kind of foundation it is. Charitable foundation. There you go. Thank you for helping me fill in the blanks. That's always helpful to have people that help you out. Hi, Becky. Spooky stream today. You just never know. So anyway, Charlie and Chance are the sponsors of the stream here. And we call them sponsors because they let me stream. Usually. Except right now when he's being a complete pain in the neck. Right? See? He just drapes himself all over my table. I couldn't work right now if I had to, because he is big enough that he takes up the whole space. Don't ya? Such a goofball. Anyway, so Charlie's been having some problems, and he's the chocolate point Siamese. He's been having some problems. He'd been coughing for a while. It's a whole long thing. We won't go into all the details. Took him to the vet. He was there for a day and came out with a nice big bill. And I think I may have told you this before. He was on, they put him on a steroid, which helped the coughing, caused a different problem. And so after that, hi Dorothy. So after that, then he couldn't, he was having a terrible time breathing. So back to the vet we went. We spent a very, well, first of all, they put him on an antibiotic, which did nothing. So that was last weekend. Things went really south last Thursday. Got worse on Friday. Terrible over the weekend. So Monday morning, bright and early, I called the vet, and they said, bring him in. And so I did. Took him in on Monday. Left him on Monday. And I was really, really scared that I might not get to bring him back home. We did. And so anyway, the long and short of it is he had a diabetic episode, I guess you'd call it. His blood sugar was way, way, way too high, which had caused him somewhat, I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. He was also extremely dehydrated, which is what caused what I was interpreting as a cold. So they had to do a bunch of stuff, give him fluids, give him insulin, etc. And so it was quite an adventure. So he was there. He was a pretty sick kitty for Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday he didn't require any more insulin. He did require fluids a couple of times. He's on a special diet now, which means Chance is on a special diet because they do everything together, you know. This poor thing, while Charlie was in the hospital, about drove himself crazy, and that meant he about drove me crazy, right? Oh my gosh, he was crazy. He was crazy. He is so dependent on Charlie. So, yeah. And let's see, what else? So the vet wants him to drink more water, but of course, you know, getting a cat, it's like the old adage of you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Well, it's kind of like that with a cat too. But after a couple of days of being in the vet hospital and not walking, you know, being inside a cage, he got very weak, and so that's why he's staying in a box of his own choosing, and he's not jumping up on anything at this point. So we'll see how that goes. The box is only big enough for one, and so Chance is monitoring everything, but he's not snuggling in the box with him. I think Charlie did that on purpose. But Charlie is, as of today, he was purring, and he doesn't have to have any more medication poked down his throat, so that he's very glad about that. He's not eating a lot. He's not drinking a lot, from what I can tell. So, yeah, kind of keep him in your thoughts and prayers. I appreciate that. Anyway, he came home, so we have another big fat vet bill. So, yes, it's life. So keep Sponsor Charlie in your hearts, if you would. All right, Mr. Chance, we're going to put him away. I'm going to wash my hands to get the cat off. And if Charlie will let me, if he'll come out of the box, I'll bring him in here where you can see him for a minute. You want to come out? You want to come out here? You want to come out here? You want to come see me? Come see me? There you go, good boy. Oh, what a good boy. Yes. What a good boy. So here's Mr. Charlie. Here's the patient. Here's the patient. He's still not breathing very easily. Whoops. Yeah, he's not breathing very easily. He is purring some. He is talking to me a little bit more. And so we're happy to have him home. So here we go. All right, so there's Charlie. I'm going to put him back in his area. Maybe he'll Maybe he'll eat, maybe he'll drink. Yeah. So anyway, okay. Say goodbye to the world for today. Can you say goodbye to the world? Can you say goodbye to the world? Yeah. There you go. That's a good shot. Yeah. Okay. All right. Come on, Chance. Come on. Come on, Chance. Come on. Come here. No, you can't go hide from me. No, you gotta go in here with Charlie. Okay, so there you go. That is, hi Jan. So that's the update on the sponsors. And I managed to talk to you without becoming a complete sap. Victory for me. Total victory for me. Hi Riri and anybody I didn't see. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for being here. And again, I'm sorry I missed last week. I wasn't feeling well. Charlie was not feeling well. I'm sure that one influenced the other. And so forth. Anyway, that's the adventure of sponsorship today. So, Lisa can't say the same. I know. Anyway, thank you for celebrating his coming home with me, with us. Okay, let us get on to the celebration. Now that I have cat dander and hair all over my surface. So, most of you know, I'm sure you know by now that we have Mandala Madness inspiration cards, and here they are, just like this. It is a deck of 48 cards. Okay, comes with a book of all kinds of stuff, designs from the deck. So it comes with this book that you can, it's an ebook, so you can print it out or you can just use it online, whatever you want to do. So there's the cards, comes with the ebook. This is a print out of the ebook, so you can see. Now I've just printed everything on one page, on one side of a page. So, but it has different patterns, one of which we used for the mandala that we're going to finish up today that we started, this one. It has all kinds of symbols that I use throughout the deck as well. And let's see, these are the symbols back here, and there's several pages of symbols that are used in the deck that you can do some fun stuff with. It does come with a mini course also, which I actually reviewed today. Because you know, if you don't look at something for a while, you forget what all is there. Because I move on. You know, I move on, right, to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So I reviewed the mini course and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. You know, when you get some space between yourself and the project or a class or a course or whatever, you go, well, I really enjoyed that. I'm going to go back and watch those again myself, because sometimes I forget. I'm always perpetually in motion going to the next thing, and so I forget what I've already done. You know what I mean? Jelly Bean. Hello, Barbara, Chicken Pie Society. The cards available. No, cards aren't on the Digi. They're not. They're not a digi. They are a physical thing. They're a physical product. And this is what they look like. This is my deck. It's pretty ratty. The box is ratty. I've had to patch it because I use this deck every single day. And so, the cards are a physical thing. There's 48 cards. They are much larger than a regular deck of playing cards. They're called inspiration cards because each one of them has a different word, a unique word that is meant to inspire you. There is a quote that goes with or that relates to the inspiration word. And then there is a suggestion, a prompt, an instruction, whatever you'd like to call it, to help you either in your mandalas, or you can use them in art journaling. I use them every day when I write. So, just because this relates only or specifically to mandalas in the intention of it doesn't mean that I can't use those in my own writing journaling as well. So I use them every single day myself. 48 cards. 48. So anyway, hi Nancy. So anyway, that is what we have. And we've never done this before, but we're doing it to say thank you twofold. Because I'm going to be honest with you, because there's no point in not being honest, right? Two things, two reasons for doing this for you. One for you, one for me. One is to say thank you for helping us reach the 25,000 sub milestone. The other is because we have some big fat vet bills. That's just the honest truth. So here you go. So this is a flash sale. We've never done this before. I've never had a flash sale before. I've certainly never done a flash sale on the mandala cards. And we've never done 30% off. So there you go. This is the code. So if you have been waiting, the book comes just with, this book comes just with the cards. Yeah, this book is just with the cards. So if you've been waiting, putting it off and whatever to get a deck of cards or more than one deck whether for gifts or I show you how to take them apart and use them in your other creative projects, this is the best time there ever has been to get them. This is the best time. Okay? 30% off. You'll see the link right there in the chat. This is the best time for you to do it. This is the code FLASH30. This is going to be a hard end on this. It only is going to go through Monday, which is October the 12th, 2020. 30% off. This is on for the Mandala Madness inspiration cards. Okay? It's for that deck of cards. So this is a deal. I'm telling you, this is a deal. It's a good deal. If you're looking to get, the international, I'm going to tell you straight up, international shipping is a bird dog. I don't have any other way around that. I tried all kinds of things to get around the international shipping. The only thing I can say is if you have somebody that you can share them with, then, possibly that might be an option. I don't know. Anyway, international shipping is extremely high, but it's extremely high for all kinds of things. It's crazy. Yeah, Linda, it is crazy. It is completely crazy, the international shipping. However, having said that, I can send 2 decks of cards for the same exact shipping as 1 deck out of the U.S. Because 2 will fit in the same container. So anyway, take that for what it's worth. Anyway, if you've been waiting and you would like to have cards for yourself If you've been waiting on that, now's the time to get them. Don't wait. If you've been waiting, if you've been wanting to possibly do some for gifts, because you know Christmas is coming. Sorry. See, now you guys are making me cry. I'm going to have to think about something else really quick here. Yeah. Because I can feel the ugly cry coming. You guys are very so kind. Woo. Okay. Give me a minute. Nothing like coming to a stream and listening to somebody. Here's the thing. I was so strong earlier today. I had myself all geared for, being strong. You guys have messed that all up. Anyway. Okay, so here you go. Anyway. Okay, I'm gonna get myself together here. The point is, if you're interested in the cards, now's the time to do it. This weekend, 30% off. This is the code. You have to have the code in order to get the 30% off, okay? Okay. Okay. Moving on, you guys. Moving on. Thank you. Thank you so much. Having a coffee. And I do have a funny story to tell you. Let's do that. Let's do that, shall we? Thank you so much to each of you. Okay, let's do a funny story. Because that's what I got to do. Okay? Okay. You're very kind, Chrissa. Because I could feel the ugly cry. Any of you that ever watched Oprah Winfrey know what I'm talking about. Every once in a while, somebody would do the ugly cry. Okay, so funny story. Let's do that. I was here by myself one day. I don't remember exactly what was going on. Clausman was gone somewhere. And yeah, exactly, Janice. I was in the studio. Okay, let me see if I can do this face to face. I was in the studio here, which is a new addition onto our house. Well, it was a new addition onto our house. It's not now, but it was. And thank you so much. I gotta quit watching the chat. Gotta quit watching the chat. Anyway, okay. I'm in the studio. Pardon all the sap today. I'm in the studio and I'm working away, and all of a sudden there is this huge ka-thunk on the roof. I mean, it was huge. It was really huge ka-thunk on the roof. And I'm like, what? I mean, and I was sitting here. I think I was editing video or something. I was sitting here, and Charlie's on my lap. No, Chance was on my lap. Muppet's here. Charlie's in the other room. Everybody's here. Claus Man was gone. And all of a sudden, here's this big thunk. And all the animals in here get really flat. You know what I mean? They get really flat. I'm going to get through this. I'm trying to tell a funny story, honestly. So, I don't know if you've ever seen animals do that or not, but they, you know, it's like the sky is falling, the sky is falling. So everybody goes flat down to the ground. And Chance gets like really wide and really flat on my lap. And so I'm like, what in the world happened? It sounded like we have a big oak tree out in, just a minute. Sorry, I just got to get I'm trying really hard not to look at the chat. But it's part of what I do, you know? Maybe I'll tell you this story without looking at you guys. Maybe that'd be better. Golly. Anyway. Okay, try again. Take 4. So I thought, well, I better go outside and see what this is. So the cats and the dog are, you know, they're still, you know, walking around looking. They're very thin, very close to the ground. And so I go look outside. And there's a limb. There's this big oak tree out there, and there's this limb. Didn't seem like it was all that big, maybe 3 inches in diameter, maybe 4. I don't know. It didn't seem very big. And it was wedged against the roof. And I'm thinking, well, that's not right. It's like, that's not right, you know? And so I looked at it and I thought, well, okay, well, that shouldn't be a problem. I should be able to just go out there and just take it off the roof, right? I should be able to just take it off the roof. Well, I couldn't reach it. It was close to the edge of the roof, but I couldn't reach it, so I had to go get the ladder. So I managed to get the ladder in the house without killing any of the walls or anything. So I get outside, I set up the ladder. Oh, you guys. Thank you. I had to pinch myself really hard. So anyway, I get out there. I climb the ladder. And I'm thinking, well, I should just be able to lift this, wasn't that big, lift it and throw it off on the ground. But I couldn't move it. I could not budge this silly limb, could not move it. And so I'm like, what is up with that? And so about that time, Claus Man gets home. And so I get him and I said, I think you need to come out here because there's a limb on the roof and I can't get it off, can't get it off the house. I said, I should be able to, but I can't. So he came out there, climbs the ladder and looks, and he tries, he thinks I'm a little, which I am, but, we don't need to go there. And he realizes that no, he can't budge it either. Then he realizes that it has gone through the shingle. This is how big it was. It's gone through the shingle. It's gone through the wooden part of the roof. It's gone all the way down through the soffit, all the way, and pushed everything down underneath the roof. Now it's really close to the edge, and so this was a good thing, because if it had not been close to the edge, this crazy thing would have come into the studio, and so it didn't do that. So I was really grateful for that. Anyway, but it punched a hole. I don't even know how hard that limb, we didn't even have that much wind or anything. It wasn't storming. How in the world it drove that limb that wasn't all that big clear through into the roof. It's crazy. It was crazy. So anyway, after it took most of the afternoon for Claus Man to, rustle up the stuff. He had an extra shingle or two, which was good, only because the roof hadn't been put on all that many years ago. So he found tin, to patch the hole. He was able to, all the stuff underneath the soffit was metal, and so he was able to, because remodeling is what his business was, that he did for many, many years. So he was able to drive that back up, take the bend out of it, put it all back together. And after 2 or 3 hours or whatever it was of him working on it, it looked pretty good. Anyway, I saved this only to tell you the power of a small limb and what it could do. So now that I've shown this to you, I'm going to throw it away, because it's just shedding stuff all over my everything here. So we're going to throw that away. Anyway, that was a crazy, crazy story. So everybody's happy now. Everyone is happy. The roof is happy. The tree seems to be happy. It hasn't blessed us with any more stuff. And so that was really helpful. All right. I had to make myself a list of things here. I had to make myself a list. Can you imagine? Let's go back. The last time we were together, we were doing this mandala, working with pastel pencils. And so I thought we would play with that a little bit more and kind of get the idea of turning it into something else. So I'll show you, this is what I did with one. So this is where we left off. This is another one that I did, and what I did with it, and just messing around. And Race is in the chat, and Race, could you address Patricia's question there? What's the agenda today, Mina? I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there. I think Race might be able to. I'll keep talking to him till I see him here. If you see him pop back in the chat, Patricia, talk to him about that. So anyway, okay, let's keep going, shall we? All right, so this is done with pastel pencil. So let's talk about how I got from this, which looks quite flat, to this one, which has a lot more dimension. I don't know if you can tell the difference. Let's see if we can put them side by side. Can you see that one has a lot more dimension, this one, not just because of all the Goo-Gah stuff on it, but because I've added more to the pastel. So that's what we're going to do first of all, okay? So the color combination, I don't remember. I think maybe it was Becky, Aunt Beck's Creations, in the chat that came up with the color combination. I can't remember for sure. But we use these pastel pencils. These are just Generals. It's an inexpensive set of pastel pencils. These are the Generals Pastel Chalk pencils. And that's what I used to do this. And then I blended them out using a blending stump. So now, to give them more dimension, what we're going to do is use the opposite on the color wheel, the color that is the opposite on the color wheel, to make it have some more dimension. So this blue right here, opposite blue on the color wheel, and this is a class, making your own color wheel using jelly plates and so forth, on the website at How to Get Creative. But opposite blue on the color wheel is orange. You don't have to have a color wheel like this one. This is just handy because you make it yourself, and so the information tends to stick. So across from blue is orange. So where do you get Goo-Gah? You make the Goo-Gah up yourself. You make it up yourself. Yes, you do. Okay, so orange. And so I'm going to pull out the orange, and I have sampled all these, my pencils, so I knew kind of what they were going to look like. So I literally have one called orange, which is this one right here. So we're going to use that. Across from the yellow on the color wheel is violet. Conveniently, we have a violet pastel pencil, so I pulled that one out. And then the other one is green. We all know that opposite green is red, just simply because of Christmas and those kinds of holidays and so forth. I swear I'm not going to watch the chat anymore. Thank you to each of you. Oh, pinch me, Barb. Okay, let's keep going, shall we? All right. So we have our opposite pencils, because what we're going to do is use those to add shading to this. Okay, so I'm going to first of all take the orange, which is opposite of the blue, and I'm going to come in here, and I'm just right on top of that blue. I'm going to add in the deepest parts of the where the color changes and where the shape changes. I'm going to add this color. Now, this orange is a really bright orange. Okay, it's very bright, this color right here, when it's on white. But when it goes over its complementary color, it's not bright. Okay? It is, it turns those two colors that are opposite of each other then turn into a brown, which we normally don't like, but in this case we do. And I'm going to add a little bit out here in the tip, just like this. Okay, and these are pastel pencils. And I did have someone ask me leave a question on the previous video as to why I used watercolor paper to do this. And the reason is, quite honestly, the reason is I don't have pastel paper. So watercolor paper was the next best thing. So that's the answer to that. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to add this orange on each of the blue sections. And I'm going to think happy thoughts here. It's not that I'm not happy either. It's just anyway, okay. I got a really nice card. I forgot to show that. I'll show that in just a second. I got a really nice card from Dawn at Let's Make a Mess Today. So I'm going to show that to you in a minute because I forgot to do it. I'm going to also be cutting this out of the background and putting it in a journal where I've put all the mandalas. And so it doesn't matter if I get stuff on my hand and I drag it out here in the outer edge. If that mattered, then I would be a lot more careful. I'm going to do the same thing in here where the blue is in here. I'm going to add just around the center. Just like this. Okay. So there is our shading, just to make it more interesting. And then for the yellow, remember, purple or violet is the opposite on the color wheel. So I'm going to come to the violet. And I'm going to add just the tiniest bit because this shape is really small. So I'm going to add just a little bit in here. And I have to say that I really did enjoy working with the pastels, because it was something I haven't done a lot of. Whew. Okay. Keeping going. You guys, I can hardly see. Deep breath. There are some things in that are so unexpected sometimes. That's what happened here today. You caught me off guard, you guys. So off guard. I'm trying to see. If I go all wonky and out of the lines, you're going to have to forgive me because I can I'm kind of looking through a film at this point. Yeah. Whew, kind of looking through a film. A layer of water. It is not making. It's making things a little challenging. But every time I say thank you so much, the film gets a little thicker. Okay, let's keep going. I can do this. I can do this. I know I can. I know I can. And my nose is going to just, my voice is going to sound really congested. That's because it is. Okay, we got that part in. Okay, we got that part in. Now, let's go to the red, because we have green in here. Red is the opposite of green. Okay, we have green. Red's the opposite of green on the color wheel, so we're going to use some red. I'm sure the colors do look distorted. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to add a little bit of the red in here on the green, and a little bit of red out here on the tip, just a little bit. Okay. Goodness sakes. I am such a sap at times. Oh, it's just what it is. You know, sometimes life is just difficult. Sometimes life is just difficult. And they don't make it any easier at the vets right now because of the whole COVID thing. They don't make it any easier. You have to take your animal and drop them off, and then you just, you know, that's a whole other thing. I'm too much of a hands-on kind of person that leaving them and feeling like I've abandoned them, you know, just is really hard on me. Although every time I talked to the vet, they said, oh, he's just as happy as can be. He's in his crate and he's just looking around. He's studying everybody. You know, they had to stick him, I don't know how many times, to test his sugar. And and they said, oh, he was just fine. I'm like, okay, it helps. It helps. But goodness sakes. Okay. Yeah, it's just difficult, you know, and I understand. It's just it is the way it is right now. You know, there's nothing that we can do about it to make it better that I know of. Okay. So let's go on to I have blending stumps that are at this point I really don't know what color is what. So we're just going to, I think this is maybe the green one. Maybe this is, yeah, this is yellow. All right, well, let's start with this one, shall we? Okay. He is here, Annette. He is at home. And we're just going, you know, one day at a time. We're just taking a day at a time. Just taking it a day at a time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just add some blending using a blending stump. Okay, so it's changed. It's now going to give some change of depth. Okay. And if this gets too dirty, if the blending stump gets too dirty, then I just scratch it on a piece of paper, or if it's really dirty, then I use a piece of sandpaper. But you can see, hopefully, as you work with this. I'll be right back. I have wet spots on my mat and wet spots on my shirt. Oh, goodness. I'm a mess today. Okay. Yeah, what was I saying? Now I lost my train of thought. Anyway, it doesn't matter. If I was supposed to tell it, it'll come back. I'll get back on the track if I'm supposed to say it. And this is getting a little... Oh, I was going to show this card that Dawn sent me. I'll do that in a minute. Now, if you like, if you don't like the... I know, Linda, I should have them. At this point, it's called a bucket hung under my chin, as opposed to some other kind of issue, huh? If you like this without doing the shading, then you could see that what it looked like before I started this. I just happen to like changing it up and doing different things. And one of the things I love about mandalas, other than the fact that I just really, really enjoy mandalas, as clear as that is because of everything that I keep doing, I keep thinking, well, I've drawn the last mandala I could ever imagine. And then somehow another one shows up, and another one, and another one, and yeah. So it's fun to do them and explore different kinds of products, and I enjoy doing that a lot. And pastel pencils have never been... Pastels, chalk pastels, and so forth are not... let's just be really honest here. Watch, I looked at the chat again. I'm not an expert in anything. I just enjoy a ton of stuff. I enjoy figuring things out and learning how things work. Ooh. And using mandalas is one of those ways that it's that I really enjoy exploring different kinds of products and different kinds of art materials. Yes, Linda. For real. Some days you get out of bed and you never had a clue what the day was going to be like. I have to tell you, this is one of those. You guys, this is one of those. Not a clue what today was going to be like. Well, actually, I thought I knew exactly what it was going to be like. Thank you. They do, Cindy. Yes, they do. And if we added a certain motif out there, we could make them look even more like that, couldn't we? Okay. All right, let's go to a different one, shall we? Okay. Let's go into the blue section here. So I've changed to a different blending stump. And if I can't keep my hand up off the surface, I may have to put a piece of paper under there. Let's give it a go, shall we? I found that with the original one that I did, it wasn't the original, it was, anyway, the other one that I did, with this one, okay, with this one that I did, I found that if I, by blending, using the blending stumps, that it pretty much drove the pastel into the paper. So I didn't end up with a whole lot of dust and all of that kind of stuff. So that was a good thing. Okay, let's come out here. While I've got the blue stump, blending stump, we'll just come out here and blend this. I'm working kind of quickly here, so I'm going to do my absolute best to be on here for another hour or thereabouts. I'm sure that we will not get this finished, but we'll get it we'll get it at least far enough along that you kind of can see it. And since I do have one that's completed, we really don't have to completely finish this, right? But this design here that I'm using, this is from the designs from the deck. So this is the ebook that accompanies the Mandala Madness cards. This is the design that I used in case you weren't here before. I mean, and this goes with the confidence card. In case you weren't here before, so this is the design that this is, okay? By Lisa, thank you so much. This is the same design. I just simplified it, took out all the extra gewgaw stuff, and that's what I transferred onto the watercolor paper. And I used a light box to do it. So that's how I got there. Boy, I'm having a hard time concentrating and keeping a train of thought here today. I've been walking a lot, which has been good. We've warmed up here again, and it really cooled off, and then the temperature has warmed up again. So I've been trying to walk early in the mornings. Yesterday it was 68 when I got home after I'd walked, and I was just covered in sweat. So I think I must have been walking at a pretty good clip. You guys, does that ever happen to you? Like, I don't even know how fast I'm walking until all of a sudden you go, whew, how fast was that? How fast was that walk I just did? Okay, let's go to this one in here. So I've switched again to a different color of blending stump. Bye, Gail. Thanks for coming. Thanks to each of you for being here. And in case anybody came in late, we are doing a flash sale for the cards, the Mandala cards. You'll see that coming up in the chat periodically. This is the code. It's only going through Monday, and it's good for 30% off on the Mandala Madness cards. So the link will come up in the chat. It is also in the description box below the video. Okay. And you'll probably see a bunch of messages on social media this weekend as well. But it will go through Monday. That's it. We won't be extending it after that. Okay. As soon as I get this blended here, which won't take very long, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this card that Dawn sent me that I keep threatening to show you, and I keep moving it around on my desk and sticking it under something. Then I remember, and then I pull it out. Oh, goodness. So here we go. Thank you, Race, for manning the chat messages. I appreciate that. I've been working on a class this week. I posted, there's a new class that went live this week on the website. If you'd like to see the samples from the class that went live this week, I'll show those to you toward the end. Strange times we're living, dealing with. Strange times. Oh, I do have something really funny to show you. As soon as this is over, we're taking a break from blending, and I'm going to show you a funny video. It does relate to mandalas, and I'm going to show you the card that Dawn sent me. Okay, so that is blended, and hopefully what you can see by doing the shading is that things begin to have more shape and undulation. That's the point. Okay, let's look at Dawn's card. So here is the card, but look at this. Look at the stamp. Isn't that cute? I thought that was the greatest stamp. I'm going to have to take that off. I can get it off with undo, and I'm going to put it in my journal. I thought that was the greatest stamp. What a great embellishment. Yeah. And the tape on the back. Great tape. So this is the card that she sent. This is Dawn of Let's Make a Mess Today here on YouTube. I got to meet Dawn when I was in California in 2018. So that was really fun. Really fun. Isn't that a cute little card? And then she sent me she wrote a really nice note. It's a Hallmark card. I just thought it was so cute. And she sent me this ATC that she made. I saw her make a bunch of these on her channel, I believe. But she says the name of her channel is Let's Make a Mess, but she really does some really nice. I love seeing what she does because she does really nice artwork. She's not afraid. That's the cool part about Dawn. She's not afraid. She'll jump into it and go for it. I'll think about it and think about it and think about it, and eventually I might try whatever it is. Dawn just goes for it. Okay, I'm going to show you this funny video. So let me get it ready to show you first. Let's see. Okay. So this is, let me zoom in this is the day that, this is on Wednesday. So Charlie had just come home from the vet, and this is Charlie here, and that's Chance, and they were downstairs with me. And I hadn't had a chance to watch the video from Clarity Stamp from Barbara Gray. So it was the evening, and so I was watching that. And I'm sorry about the reflection, but that's the way it is. So this is my leg. They're sitting on the couch with their legs on me. Okay? So I'm watching the video. There's no sound with this, and my camera work is anything but decent here, but you'll be able to see. So I'm watching Barbara Gray. She is drawing in pencil, drawing this very elaborate mandala. And if you notice Chance's head, the gray kitty, if you notice his head, he got really, really, really into this mandala. I mean, can you see him? His eyes are tracking. Charlie doesn't care anything about it. He's just concentrating on breathing. And you can see him. This is my reflection up in the top. But Chance never stopped watching, ever. When she erased and she used a brush to brush away the eraser grit, trying to get the reflection off a little bit more. He is watching that, and there's going to be a place here where she's going to go around. I don't know. Oh. Okay, let me scrub through this again. There's a place, I don't know whether you're going to be able to catch it or not, but there's a place in here where she goes around with her hand, and you can see his head. Oh, the reflection's terrible. Sorry. And you can see his head track with the movement of her hand going around. But he is into this, man. He is totally, totally into this mandala thing. It's probably just the movement that he's into. But I'm telling you, I laugh. That's why every once in a while the whole thing shakes, because I'm recording it with Clausman's. Oh, sorry, trying to get the reflection off. I'm recording it with Clausman's phone, holding my phone and the cat's. But if you watch his head, I don't know if we'll be able to catch it or not. There you go. See his head? Because she was going around and around with her hand, and so he's watching like, what? Yeah. Anyway, I just had to show you. I thought that was so funny. Ah, what a funny cat. What a funny animal. He loved it. Yeah, he was loving it. Okay, so let's move forward, shall we? Let's move forward. Okay, what I used to do, it was just so funny, and so I thought I'm going to try and show it to you today. And I mean, it's probably not the best rendition of a video, but anyway, you kind of get the idea. He is a video watching cat. It's crazy how much he will watch. Charlie watches a little bit, doesn't really care too much about it. Chance will watch and watch and watch. There's a channel that is called Cat TV. It's a YouTube channel. And Chance thinks that Cat TV is just the best thing ever. But I never dreamed that he would watch what I was watching. It's crazy. Crazy cat. And on Cat TV, they sent, I got it came up on my feed that they had a new video. Well, it was like an octopus, a tentacle of an octopus, octopus leg. And so it would come into the picture and then would go out, but it would, kind of switch back and forth because it was in water. That was a 1-hour video. He watched the entire thing, beginning to end. for an hour. Such a weird cat. Oh, he's so weird. He's so weird. Anyway, okay. So, what I did on the art, on doing all of this trim stuff, is I used the new set of the Moonlight Jelly Roll. Well, these have been out for a while, but it's one of the newer sets of the Moonlight Jelly Roll pens. I really, really like these. This is an unusual color palette for me. I tend to like the brighter colors a little bit better. It's just because I lived with things were just pretty much dull and not necessarily really bright in my life for a while. They are now. I'm grateful for that. So anyway, some of these colors are kind of bright, but by comparison, they're not as bright. Anyway, that's what I've used here. So the colors, I pretty much chose 3 colors, I believe. I used this one, I used this one, and I used this one. And I think those are the only colors I used on this. And so I'm going to get a piece of paper, just because I always like to have a piece of scratch paper, just to give my pen something to get started on. So let's go into the center. I'm just going to not think about trying to do something different. I'm just going to kind of parrot what I did here, and we'll see how it works. Hopefully it works as well as it did when I did this the other day. Okay, so I'm going to come in here. This is whatever this color is. It's kind of a brownish pink, pinkish brown. So I'm going to come into the center, and I'm just going to put a dot, and then I'm going to just make a petal shape. But what surprised me, now I have not done any, I haven't put any fixative or anything on this, and the pens work just fine. The book, Why Cats Can't Paint. I haven't. Sounds interesting though. Okay. And so I'm just going to increase that a little bit more. And then in between, I'm just going to put, I like lines with dots. Now this space in here is pretty small. I'll zoom in here in a minute, or hold it up where you can see it a little bit more. Okay, like so. This is my favorite part of doing mandalas. I would have to say it's my favorite because I just love seeing how they change with the embellishment. So it's one of my favorite things to do. And then I just play with colors, and I play with whatever is going on in back and forth. And because I'm only working with these 3 colors at the moment, then I'm just doing some in one section and then coming back with another color. And sometimes I look at it and I go, I don't know if I even like this, you know? And then after it sits for a few days, I always like it. I've never have had one that I've let just sit for a while that I didn't come back and really like. Okay, so I've just added a little bit of the blue. The only reason I'm holding it up rather than zooming in and out is just because I'm too lazy. That's the truth. Okay, let's go into the next section, into the blue section. Again, one of my favorite things is lines and dots. And sometimes I really like color on color like this. So the blue is very subtle, just really subtle. But sometimes I just really like that. And most of the time what I do is I will turn my mandala, so I'm constantly turning it so that it's easier for me to get to it. However, I think it might be a little less might be a little easier to watch if I don't do that. Now in here in the middle, you can see that I've slapped some of the blue over the black, and I'll come back and clean that up later. Oof. Lena. You guys have really Bye, Linda. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna keep working here. If you have not subscribed to Lena, who is Miss Linux, I just lost her. Miss Linux 2010. If you have not subscribed to her channel, you need to. And I didn't say that just because of what she just did. Lena's art is so phenomenal to see. I don't know that I've ever seen anyone quite like Lena, and I mean that in all sincerity. Her grasp of different art materials astounds me. Truly leaves me speechless when I watch her flips and her videos. She did a journal recently in September that was a face a day, but she didn't do Lena did not do she did not do just faces. She was reviewing her art journey, which she says is not very long, if I understood her correctly. And she took one page in this journal, which I think she made the journal too, if I'm recalling correctly. She took the journal, and on the left-hand page as she was looking at it, she took the art supply that she had a given art supply. Let's say like pencils, colored pencils or whatever, Inktense pencils, let's say that. And she's painted the Inktense pencils, like the container in the pencils and everything. She's painted that or drawn them or whatever on the left-hand side of the page, but not just slapped them on the page. That page by itself is like a work of art, the art supply. Then on the facing page on the right side, she did the face created with that particular art supply. It is really an incredible, it is a work of art from beginning to end. So if you have not seen it, if you've not seen her videos on that, you can learn a lot just listening to her explain how she did it. And she showed a couple of the art supplies in the beginning when she was streaming, I believe. And yeah, she just, she is something. She is something. Okay, I can't look at the chat now. Okay, can't look at the chat now. Thank you, Dorothy. Okay, let's keep going, shall we? So what I'm doing now, because I've got to come back and concentrate here, or I'll never get this. I'm coming in with a different color with this green, which isn't going to show very much, but it just adds a little more, it's kind of like it just adds more depth. Into that area. Okay? Okay. All right, let's keep going. So I'm going to come into the next section. Now, honestly, on the piece that I did here, on the finished piece, I really did not like what I did in here at all. I did not like it. But when you look at it as a whole, from, you know, the 440th floor, as I like to say, it looks fine. There's a lesson here. And the lesson is, don't get hung up in any one thing. Okay? Don't get hung up in any one step. Keep going. Don't quit. If you look at something, now this doesn't hold true for every art form, I know. It doesn't hold true for every single thing. It does, in my opinion, hold true for mandalas or pattern work. And that is, less is not necessarily enough. Oftentimes what you need to do, if you don't like it, if you just don't like it, what you need to do is do more. First of all, walk away from it so you won't throw it away. Okay? If it's really, really, really bad, you can put black gesso. You can put black gesso over the whole thing, and you can just walk away, or walk away from it. But often what you need to do is do more, add more to it. And so that's what I did in those ugly green petals. I just did more. So I'm going to show you what I did, because that's what I need to do. Thank you, Annette. Okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to do this, you guys, as a collective whole.
have humbled me so much today. Okay, thank you. And I'm going back to, let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Goodness sakes. So I'm using this strange green color, which looks, it's kind of a, it's almost like a celery color, celery green. That's the color that I'm using. And I intended to do this sort of color on color, tone on tone throughout the whole thing. Okay. Clearly, I have to have a snot break. I hope that makes me laugh. Maybe, maybe not. Life is just so peculiar sometimes. Okay, let's keep going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to echo the shape. So I'm just going to echo the shape. Basically because I couldn't figure out what else to do when I got started here. And you know, if I echo the shape, in some places it like touches the edge like it did there, don't worry about it because nobody's ever going to see it anyway. Nobody's ever going to see it. Just keep going. Just keep going. Don't stop. Always keep in mind when you're doing something, it doesn't make any difference, honestly, what it is, unless you're like painting a mural on the side of a building or doing a mural that you're being paid multi-thousands of dollars, which, you know, if somebody offered me that experience of painting a mural for multi-thousands of dollars, man, I would have to really think hard and long about taking something like that on, because there is just too much, there's a lot of risk in my own head. You know, maybe I would be able to do it, but there's a lot of risk involved in that. And so, you know, in that case, I might have to really think about it, because you can't wad up the mural and throw it away. On something like this, it's a piece of paper. If it's a piece of paper, if it's a piece of wood, if it's a canvas, you can just wad it up. You can throw it out. You can burn it up. You can just start, you know, and do something different. And that is something that I keep in my mind. You know, this last class that I did, and if you guys want to see the samples from this last class, the entire class is made from scraps. Absolutely everything in the class is made from scraps. Now I can't reproduce it because I don't have the exact same scraps that I did the class with. However, any minute now I'll get back on the track because I just sidetracked myself. Oh, the thing that I had to keep in mind was it's just scraps. If you can keep something like that in your thought process, keep a perspective, it takes the seriousness out of whatever it is, and you can have an enormous amount of freedom in what you're creating. You just don't worry about it. Just enjoy the process. And if you'll make it more about the process than about the product, the freedom that will give you is unparalleled. In my opinion, and take it for what it's worth, that's all it is an opinion. We all have opinions just like we have mouths. Okay, so I have subdivided these petals. So I went around the edges and echoed the edges, and then I subdivided just with a curly line. It's one of my favorite things to do. And then I just everything I'm doing on this mandala is a favorite motif. Thank you, Mindy. This is what I call beating the line, and so I'm just literally beating it. I think of it like ball chain. You know what ball chain is? Some of you may not know what it is. This is ball chain. You often see it here. They'll put it on lights, you know, as a pull chain to, and there's little connectors. You can buy the connectors separate from the ball chain. Like this, there's a connector. You buy the connector based on the size chain that you have. Anyway, that's what I think of this as ball chain. Except it's the version of using a pen to create it. So I'm making putting the little round parts. I intend for that to straddle the line, but it doesn't always work. Hi, Esther. You have those on sink plugs. Yes. Yes. Okay, so let's go to the next one. But literally everything I used on this particular mandala is something that I really like. By the way, you can pronounce it mandala, 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 mundala, mundala. It's like whatever works for you, and whatever pronunciation works the best for you, because we're all different and our mouths don't always say the same words the same way. And I call it mandala because it's easy. Okay, so then what I did was I echoed around this section. Trying to make it an honest echo, meaning that I'm trying to keep it from touching the sides, and then I get to a point where it's so little that I have to stop. And I'm going to tell you, by the time I repeated this, when I was doing the original one, this one, I thought that is truly the most appalling thing I have ever done. But once I did it once, you know, it's like, okay, well, I can't take that off, so I'm going to just have to roll with the punches. So that's what we're doing here. We're just rolling with the punches. Boy, do I need another cup of coffee. I'm telling you what. I'm not asking for one, by the way. I'm just just talking. Just talking. That's all. Just talking. Okay. So sometimes when you do something and it doesn't work out, and it doesn't matter if it's a mandala or something else, there's usually a way to fix it. And I will tell you that I think what I'm going to tell you is the absolute truth. I'm just trying, as I'm saying the words, to think to myself, did I ever have an exception to this rule? And I don't think I did. That usually the worst things I ever created, whether it was fabric, paint, paper, whatever it was, honestly, the worst things I ever did, I believe without exception, ended up to be my favorite things. And possibly because I put so much energy into them. Possibly because I didn't give up. Possibly because I surrendered to the process. I remember one time my son was having a really hard time. I don't know if he remembers this or not, but he was having a really hard time. And I remembered what somebody said to me. And so, your kids don't necessarily, of course he's a man, he's not a kid. But your kids don't necessarily like you to pass your pearls of wisdom on to them, if you know what I mean. And, he was in one of those places where he didn't know what to do. And gosh, we've all been there. And I remember what somebody said to me one time, and it was, having done all, stand. Having done all, stand. In other words, if you can't think of another thing to do, you've exhausted all your possibilities. You don't have any other ideas. You don't know where else to go, where else to turn. You just don't know. You don't have any more resources. Sometimes you just have to stand. Or wait, or whatever. Right? And that applies, I find it applies to your artwork as well. Is sometimes if you look at it and you go, that is the ugliest thing I have ever seen in my life. This is one that's going in the dumpster. I know it's going to go in the dumpster. Just stand. You've done everything to it you can think of to do. You've tried to salvage it. You've tried to do everything to it. Just stand. Just put it away. Just put it up someplace. Maybe you can't look at it for a while. It's okay. You don't have to look at it. But having done all, stand. It's a little too deep into the philosophy for today. However, yeah, sometimes it's a good thing to do. All right, so that's how I got to this place in here, where it's in the whole scope of everything, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. On the way to this place, it was pretty ugly. But in order, and I did this later, in order to bring this color, this very funny pinkish brownish color, in order to integrate it more into the whole piece. And here's another thing. If it looks really ugly, call attention to it, which doesn't make any sense. But if it's really bad, make it even worse. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but sometimes that is a really good idea. So I just called it out by these things that I did, these dot things that I did over here. I just used this color and just highlighted them even a little bit more. The other thing that it does is make your eye move out, because what I'm trying to do when I'm doing a mandala, I'm trying to get my eye, or the viewer's eye, and since I'm the one making it, it's my eye to start with. What I'm doing is to get my eye to move in and out and in and out, not to just stop any one spot. If my eye wants to stop in one place and not move around, then that's my cue that I probably need to add something as simple as just a little dot like this, right? So that is how that is done. So another, because I'm going to be getting off here in about 5 minutes, I'm just going to kind of talk to you about the rest of this. What I did, these spaces out here, these spaces here, these are big spaces. And anytime you have a big space, it's easy to fill it, but it's hard to embellish it, in my opinion. It's hard to embellish it because it's so big. So the best thing you can do is start dividing it up into smaller spaces. So on this one, on the blue section, all I've used in here in the blue section is blue and green. I've only used these 2 pins. And in case you weren't here when I started out with this, these are the pins from the Moonlight set. This is one of their newer sets of colors. So this is the set. I got these from Jet Pens. I know you can get them lots of different places. So I just started out by subdividing it. So I put a line down the middle. You can see the beaded line again, like ball chain. I added some sections, you know, like a triangular section, and then I added a couple of more lines, and then I added another line so that they were all sort of parallel, and then repeated it on the other side. So it's just one little thing at a time. And then I took this section up here and I divided that up and added just more. It's just lines and dots. That's all it is. Lines and dots. Some of them are curved, some of them are straight. Same kind of thing here. I just took the space. It's too much empty space, so I divided it up. And when in doubt, I'll add a line and put a dot at the end, each end of it. So just divide it up. Just divide the space. That's all I did. And then down here it was too empty, so I added more of this kind of thing where it's a curved line with a dot at the end. The reason I add dots at the ends of lines is because it gives them a place to stop. If you just do a line, it's very hard to make the matching one on the other side the same length. But if you add a dot to the ends, you can lengthen a line that's too short, or you can sort of have the effect of making the line shorter by making the dot further in on the line. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but that's the case. And then I did the same thing here. So it's the same thing on each of the blue sections of that, around that mandala, right? Okay, let's talk about this one. All right, so to start out on this, I did this big, and on this section I only used these 2 colors. Okay. So on this one, I just did a big teardrop. It was a big teardrop, the one out here. So I did that big teardrop. And then I'm like, oh goodness, what am I going to do now? Because this is too big, right? It is too big. Thank you, Norma. You're welcome. And thank you. So then I just started adding additional teardrops and putting lines in, filling space. That's what I do, is I fill space. And then I added a couple of big teardrops out here. And the space that was too big, so I added more teardrops. And then I'm like, oh, this is getting worse by the second. So then I added some lines with some dots. Okay, lines with dots. Okay, that helped a little bit. So then I added more lines with dots. And then I thought, okay, this is way too much space down here, so I don't want to repeat the same thing I did here because that's too hard to do. So I added a curvy line, which is just like what I did in this area in here. So I just did a big curvy line. And then I did a second curvy line, kind of echoing. Same thing here. Then I drew some circles. Then I switched colors of pens, and I went to this one. And I even put some spirals inside here in this color. Some spirals. And I'm like, oh God, it's getting worse and worse and worse. So then I switched to the blue pen and started filling in and just adding some little flecks of blue. There's very little blue on here. And it's just simply put in where there was empty space. I added blue. And after letting it sit for a moment, or a day, or a couple of days, or whatever, and coming back to it, it's not half bad. It's not half bad. In fact, I really like it. So then what I'm going to do, now we're going to switch just to this one, is I'm going to take my scissors. This is watercolor paper. It's 140-pound watercolor paper. There are some places where I was very sloppy and the gel pen is slopped over the black lines. If that bothers me, I'll go back and I'll add some more black, which that black was done with a glaze pen, the black glaze pen. It does give it a little bit of a raised effect, which is nice. So if I need to, I can always come back, and the glaze pen is also shiny. So you can't really go in there with some other kind of pen, because a matte pen is going to make it look pretty strange. So I would come back in with the glaze pen and just add a little bit of black on top of the yucky stuff, right? Hey Dawn, thank you so much. I showed your card and your ATC. Thank you so much again. You missed a very sappy day here, Dawn. Oh, goodness. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just carefully and taking time. This is a place that I don't rush it, okay? I don't rush this part. And I take my I'm not going to do this whole thing, by the way, so don't worry. I just take my time and I cut out. And if I don't get it exactly, if there's some white, like watercolor paper still showing, I will take care of that in a minute. But take my time and I go around it. And one of the reasons I like to cut these out is, first of all, if I've been sloppy around the edge, this gets rid of the slop. We all need an escape valve, right? Get rid of the slop. Okay, so we'll pretend that that's all cut out. Then I'm going to use a black, let's see, archival black, jet black ink. It's a permanent ink, and a sponge. This is just a piece of cut and dry foam, which needs to be replaced. And then just come in here right along the edge, and I'm going to just put a little bit of black ink along that edge. And what that's going to do is it's going to kind of help hide the fact that there might have been some of the white paper, still along that edge. So I'll do that. And then what I do with them is because I like it, is I have this black, and I've shown this many, many, many times, but I have this black journal, which is a Dilutions black journal. It's square, so it works out really well for mandalas. And so then what I do is I'll take this and I will mount this in the journal, whether it's on a page, facing another mandala or whatever. But the cool part is, to me, once it's been cut out, is I can mount it in this way. I can put it this way. I can put it this way. So it just totally depends on what you like. Completely depends on what you like. And to put them into a journal like this, a permanent attachment, I will use score tape or something similar, permanent tape. And so I'll put it around the back and stick it in here like so. And sometimes I go around them and add even more stuff like this. Okay, so sometimes I add more stuff around the edge, or like this. Those are just gel pens. And the Moonlight, here's another one, another example. The Moonlight Jelly Roll pens will show on the black paper. So that's why you use Moonlight Jelly Roll pens. Okay? So that is how I'm going to finish that up. And actually, in the whole scope of things, it turned out to be an okay thing. It turned out to be okay. Right? Turned out to be okay. I didn't think it was going to, but somehow it did. Somehow it did. Yeah, the mandalas on black, just, even this one, which is, we did just with graphite. This is from Beyond Mandala Madness, which I'm working on. In this case, I left the colored background. So you can see some of the colored backgrounds that I've left. Honestly, I like them better and this one was done on black paper and cut out and put in here. I honestly like them better if they're cut out. But I like to do different kinds of things. I don't like doing the same thing all the time. It's much more interesting if you do a variety of things. In my opinion, that's just what I like. So that's what I do. Okay, so that's that. All right. It's been a day, people. I'm going to do my best to do my best. So if you've been waiting to get the mandala cards, we do have a flash sale going right now through Monday. And so this is the code FLASH30. It'll get you 30% off the Mandala Madness inspiration cards. You can go back in the video. I do show these in detail at the beginning. Apologies for being very, very sappy today. It's just, it's just how it was today. Thank you very much for your kindness, your thoughtfulness. And everything else. Okay, I'm going to go. Thank you very much. If you are not a member of How to Get Creative and you would like to look at How to Get Creative and becoming a member, we have different levels of membership. And I thought one of the things I would tell you very quickly before I go is what is available over there in case you've never looked at it. In the regular season classes, there are 89 video classes. 89. Most of them are an hour to 2 hours or more. And most of those regular season classes have full-length tutorials that are sometimes 40, 50 pages of illustrated step-by-step instructions. So you have the video, you have the written instructions as well. The tips and tricks videos, some of them are short, some of them are long, some of them are really could be classes as opposed to tips and tricks video. There's more than 60 of those. There are, and then if you're a VIP member, there are 58 class videos, specific classes to the VIP members, plus a slew of show and share, live show and share sessions. We have 2 full-length video courses. Those don't come with the membership, but those are available as well. We have another one of those in process coming very soon. And then we also have the mini Mandala Madness course. So I thought, I counted it all up today, and quite honestly, I went, no wonder I'm so flippin' tired. And that doesn't include what we do here. So anyway, I'm not really that tired. You know what I mean. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I will, if everything goes well, I will be back next Friday for another episode of Drama Free Friday. And I will see you then. Don't forget about the YouTube hop that Mariotta is doing tonight. And you can find on her channel, you'll find the information. The Defy auction that is tomorrow on Care Heart's channel goes from noon to 5, I believe. And with that, if I give you any information that's incorrect, I apologize. I did the best I could. All right, I'm going to leave you. Thank you so much. I will see you again soon. Thank you very much to each and every one of you. Thank you for your kindness, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.